misschien nog wel wat, maar hij is gewoon vooral met het helpen van anderen bezig.
Toch even die headset uitproberen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this auspicious occasion. I would like to ask you to stand for the procession of professors and our guests. Thank you. And now it's time to welcome our guests of honor today. And first of all, I would like to ask for your very warm applause for the Rotterdam School of Management's Executive MBA class of 2016. course, another warm welcome for the Rotterdam School of Management International Full-Time MBA class of 2007. A warm round of applause for our wonderful musicians. You may take a seat. So, ladies and gentlemen, MBA soon-to-be graduates, today is Friday the 24th of March. This is your day. This is the day where we celebrate your amazing achievements. And I'd just like to say a warm welcome to you all on behalf of the Rotterdam School of Management and to all your family and friends. And for the official opening of this ceremony today, I would like to invite our Vice Dean, Professor Dirk van Dierendonk, to come up to the stage and say a few words.
It's good that you still know me. Thank you. I was sort of wondering about that, but oh well. It's indeed really great when I saw you all there outside, all those familiar faces. Anyhow, dear honored guests, dear ladies and gentlemen, and most of all, dear graduates, welcome all to the graduation ceremony of the RSM International Full-Time MBA of 2017 and the RSM this is one of these things, Executive MBA class of 2016. Yes. Yes, you can applaud for yourself, because I would like to start you by congratulating all more than 200 of you, more than 200 MBA students who are all today graduating. You're all here. You made it. You did it. And graduation is a fantastic achievement. And you have all the reasons in the world to be happy and to be very, very proud of yourself. And I am sure very proud of all of you. And it is really great for me to see you all sitting here. As some of you already yelled, the PLD session. Because I think for all of you, I was actually the first professor you saw when the real work started. And I don't know if you remember me at that moment. But I told you then, we were planning to give you the best and the latest when it comes to academic knowledge. But we were planning to give you even more. Well, we wanted to give you the opportunity to grow as a person. Because you decided to come here. You decided to invest 1 or 2 years of your life to become better. Better as leaders, but I also think to become better as a person. And we wanted to give you that opportunity so that you could bring out the real potential that you have as a future leader. Dear graduates, over the past months and years, we have come to know you as driven, ambitious individuals with a clear focus, a determination to succeed in your career, and a desire to improve your opportunities, and most of all, to make a difference in the world. You came to RSM to learn about business and more, much more, delving deep into the world's most relevant environmental, societal, and governmental issues. But you came also to become a better leader. And RSM has given you the opportunity to go places I think other MBA programs don't go. From the innermost drivers of your own behavior to the slums of South Africa. And with these experiences, newly acquired knowledge, capabilities, and competences, recalibrated values and attitudes, you are now fully equipped to make a difference in the world. And this is in full alignment with RSM's mission, to use business as a force for positive change in the world. And let me repeat this. RSM's mission is to be a force for positive change in the world. And to this end, we have 4 levers: our academic research, our knowledge transfer, our engagement with the environment, and in particular the local communities here in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, Western Europe, and more we are moving to the world at large. But most importantly are you, our graduates. You are the much needed agents for positive change. You are the ones that can create value, wealth, well-being, and not just for yourself, but for others in a responsible and sustainable way. You can become those leaders that make a difference. And of course, doing an MBA requires a huge investment in terms of money and time, and you rightfully expect to see a return on investment in terms of career progression or career change. But I trust that you see an MBA degree as something more than just a ticket to a higher income. As leaders, or future leaders, you are, or will be, in the vantage point for making a positive change in the world. And I expect you to be that agent of positive change, a source of inspiration to others, to lead by example, to walk the talk. And I would like to ask you to take a step back from time to time and look in the mirror and ask yourself, what kind of a leader am I? Have I made, or am I making, a positive change in the world? Have I made a positive change for my family, friends, company, community, society, the world. So that this time next year, if we would send you all an email asking you how you have fared, whether you have been able to make a positive change in the world, and the answer is no, then it is time for a fundamental change. Life is just too short. Now, I would like to introduce our guest speaker. Our guest speaker, and we are very happy to have him, is the current Vice President of Finance Controller at Unilever Europe. And his career shows his global mindset. Starting in the Netherlands as project manager IT, he moved on and up the career ladder in management positions both here in the Netherlands and outside, such as Ukraine and Russia. And at the same time, he also has a family with a wife and 3 children. And between all of this, he still manages to not only watch, but also play sports like football, running, hiking, and skating. Truly a very talented and versatile man. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Frank Sluis.
Thank you for these kind words. Let me first say I'm quite honored to be here. I think you have all completed probably the most prestigious program in the Netherlands for sure, and I think one of the most prestigious programs in the world. So I think something to be very proud of, and I'm also very proud to be here now. I think I'm positively surprised by the festive atmosphere. I actually hadn't realized that so much when I came down there. I knew, of course, it's a graduation event, but it feels almost like a party with the music. And so I'm on the one hand very happy and enjoy the atmosphere also. And I think you feel the positive vibe. And I think you all have a real reason to be very, very happy with all the hard work behind. And I think now, hopefully, the benefits and the fruits to come soon. So, yeah. I'm indeed the Vice President Finance and Controller of Unilever Europe. A few words on the company and myself. In fact, the mission of the university is actually extremely similar as the vision of our business, which is about improving the lives of our consumers with basically products that I think do good, that make you feel good or look good, and bring something to your life. So I think very similar to what the university tries to achieve through its people. We do that through our products. And also Unilever has a lot in common with the university, obviously the location Rotterdam. Unilever is a former combination of the Margarine Unie from the Netherlands, located in Rotterdam, and the Lever soap company in Port Sunlight, which is a village up north in the UK. Two very different businesses, margarine and soap. And I think as of today, I think for everyone who reads the press, many people doubt whether that is a useful combination of two product categories. But I think we still believe it is, and we'll try to hold it together. Over myself, Vice President Finance, that means a finance professional. I think always a bit the modest personalities in the company that add up the numbers and are the right hand of the CEO. That's of course why I certainly didn't ask myself to be here at this point in time, and I would have much rather sit on any of these chairs over there. But this is what it is. I'll try to make the best out of it, but I'm slightly nervous, of course, as you can expect. I think I was asked to talk a bit about the value of education, and what I thought is I'll take you through my life story and illustrate a bit, I think, what education meant for me throughout my life. And that is the way to do it. So I think if I look back to my childhood and my teenage years, I think there were three main forms of education. The first one, of course, were my parents, I think, who taught me the most in terms of values. We had a little farm where I grew up, so I think you have a few people working at the farm, so I think you learn respect and loyalty. The other thing, what you learn there is a strong sense of ownership. The weather can be bad, the harvest is bad, but you need to deal with it. You can blame it, but there is little point in doing that. You just need to work your way through. So I think a strong sense of ownership. And lastly, I think hard work. You have to get up pretty early on a daily basis. That's life at the farm. So I think it was always hard work. The other thing, I think my academic life was, of course, at high school. I must say, I think with education, the most important thing is that you get the right content at the right point in time. And I think for me, high school was really not the right content at the right time. I got through it, I think, with average grades, but I wasn't really interested in it at that point in time. Where I was really interested in, and Dirk highlighted on that, was actually football. I spent every minute of my life running behind the ball. That was pretty much, I think, half of the day, every day again. And I think that taught me a lot. It allowed me to actually play at a very high level, and I think that gave me a lot of self-confidence, which I took with me through later in life. The other thing, I think also, I had to change clubs, so I think you need to learn to adapt and also basically take challenges. I sometimes had to leave a club behind where I felt comfortable and go to a new club, and then it's actually uncomfortable. So I think that was, basically football was for me, I think, more the education where I got more out of than high school, if I reflect on that period of time. I then went to university, to the University of Wageningen. As the son of a farmer, I think that's an easy choice. It was again an example, I think, and it seems to become a recurring theme, but this is actually the last time that I think I got education at the wrong time with the wrong content. I got through it, I was muddling through, but I think not very successfully. What I did enjoy very much in my university life, and I think that's where I got most out of, was the membership of student associations. And I think, with the modest character I had, they always gave me the finance roles in any type of organization. And I think for some reason, thankfully they didn't look at my academic records, otherwise they wouldn't have given me the ownership of the numbers and the money. But I think they did it because for some reason I look, I guess, somewhat reliable, and they gave me that confidence. So I moved from controllership to controllership, and then I went through university and I had to apply for a job. Now, I think, I ended up in Unilever, which I think was one of the few companies that really, already at that point in time, was really a truly diverse company, and they did not mandate any type of CV or qualification. So you could start in finance without being a financial from academic background. So I think that's how I managed to start at Unilever, whereas actually many companies did not allow people not having studied finance in their finance traineeships. So Unilever was quite advanced at the time with that, so I could start there. And I think one of the more defining moments was probably in my first year that we had the 20 finance management trainees together, and the HR professional at the time was looking at us and said, well, he said, statistically 2 out of you, out of the 20, about 10% will make it to the director level. And then you think, whoa, that is not a lot. So which of the 18, am I part of the 18 or part of the 2? And that was the first time that I actually thought I now really need some education, because when we had any type of training, I didn't really understood what they were talking about when they were talking about deferred tax liabilities or option theory or any of these things. As an agricultural engineer, I just didn't understand it. And I thought, now I really need education. So then I did the controllership program in the Netherlands, which is, I think, somewhat of a similar concept as an MBA. Of course, it's more finance than general management. But the same, I think the same hard work in the evenings, every weekend studying. That's life. I think when my wife became pregnant, I really realized I had to hurry quickly, get my thesis done, and make sure that I would have the weekends available for other things. But I think that was the first time that I really had the right content at the right time when it came to education. And I think it was a fantastic program as such. Now, the other 2 things, I think, where for me in working life, education played a big role, was a program given by Frans Trompenaars, and maybe you have had that in your classes as well, about cross-cultural understanding. I think that for me was just before I went to Russia, where I spent 6 years of my professional life and also family life. And that program came about at the same time, and I think it really opened up my mind in, what does it take to work in a cross-cultural context? Because the years before I worked more in the Dutch business, which was relatively easy from that point of view. But I think working in Russia was quite a challenge from a cultural perspective. But I think that program really helped me in being extremely open and receptive to different people basically having a different approach to life, to profession, to solving problems. And I think if I look back at the first job that I did there, it was not that successful. I wanted to achieve too many things too quickly, whereas in Russia it's really important you build the relationships first, actually peacefully, I think, and take the right amount of time for that. So in my second job, it was actually a much bigger role where we were acquiring a business and had to integrate it. In fact, thank God I went through that first job and made all my mistakes there, so that actually the second job I could do much more successful. And that had many cultural elements of both working in a different culture, but also, I think, working with different business cultures in the business that we bought. And just one story, I remember I was scared like hell the first day that I came into that role as a CFO of that business. The board was all Russian, and basically you open the door and they're all sitting there, and you can sit on the empty seat that is there. And it was a setting just like you see on television. In fact, when you see the national prime minister talking to his ministers, the CEO would basically do the round. And they had all decided they would not speak English, but they would continue the conversation in Russian. And then you feel really small and in that setting, and that was a huge learning experience. And also there, by the way, learning Russian was a piece of education that really accelerated I really had to step up on that educational bit. The last thing I wanted to touch about when it comes to training in our company is in fact very close, and I was touched by the mission of the Rotterdam University, because it's so close to, I think, to ours. We do it through selling good products in a responsible way, but we also train our people, at the moment quite intense on the leadership level, what we call purpose-driven leadership, which I think is something you must have been exposed to in this program as well. We take our leaders through that, and I think our CEO strongly believes in it, that I think that life is not only about realizing or getting into a position, but more about being really clear what is your purpose, your leadership purpose, and then you realize that actually many different roles allow you to live that purpose, and that might be more important than the title on the card, basically. And I think that is also a program that has helped me a lot in my professional career so far. So that's a bit education, I think, for me in a nutshell. The last few things, in summary, I would like to say to you, I think is when I look at education, I think for me it was always really, it has to be at the right time with the right content. If it doesn't meet that, then you're not the sponge that basically really absorbs it. And I think an MBA program where I think most of you are in your life, I think it is exactly the right time, I think, that you combine education in the right stage of your professional career. So I think it really meets that criteria. The other thing I would say, I think education really comes in various forms, and I think you have done the hard work, I think, on the academic content, but I think you have made, hopefully, friends for life, and I think you learn so much out of that as well. So I think a lot of the educational component is actually more in the group, I think, than just in the academic content, and I really hope the program has offered that. And I think also where I think nowadays politics is sometimes struggling to bring all the cultures together, I think business is actually an area that can play that role very effectively. And I think many of you will work in an international context, and it is wonderful that that is a way, I think, that business is a way to actually bring cultures together. I think another thing is that, by illustrating or explaining my life, I think education never stops, unfortunately, but also fortunately. I think this is another step in a long journey of permanent education that almost every individual needs to go through nowadays, as the world is changing so fast. What I also wanted to say, I think, to the family behind the students, It is really hard work. Yeah, when I did that controllers program, it's sometimes it's pretty tough. I think for the family as well as for the students themselves, it's hard work. And I think hopefully now they're through it, and they will indeed be able to give a bit more time to the people that deserve it. And I hope you have all made friends for life. I think when I look back at the different educational phases in my life, they were always the best, because you work always together with many people and you build friendships for life. So that's what I would like to say when it comes to education and the role I think it can play in both in a professional career as well as a family member or a father or a mother or an uncle or an aunt or whatever your role whatever your role is. So thank you very much, and I want to congratulate you with, of course, with the title, and wish you all the best in your life going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your words, Mrs. Sluis, and thank you also for taking the time to be with us today. We really appreciate it. And I'm really glad that you got the party feeling when you came in here, because that's what this is. It's a celebration. And the high point of the celebration has now arrived. This is where each of you individually get your moment in the sun. You walk across this stage and receive a piece of paper. But it's not just a piece of paper, of course. It's far more than that. And yeah, this is your moment suprême, as it were. And therefore, I would like to invite my colleagues who will be directing the traffic up here, as it were, to come up onto the stage and prepare for your diploma presentations.
Wow. Very exciting to see you all. We will now proceed by calling your names individually. Your picture will come up on this huge screen behind me. No pressure, including your I will statement. And you will then proceed to receive your degree. Some of you, unfortunately, could not be with us today. I will call every graduate's name. So a picture might come up and no person might walk on the stage. However, there is a live stream. We are hoping you are watching. I do want to congratulate you too if you had to stay at home for whatever reason. So, without further ado, and the honor to be called the first graduate of Executive MBA 2016 is Mr. Wissam Andari. Simona Annunziata. Marnix Arendshorst. Raha Badinraad. Anna Blok. Jochem Bossenbroek. Robert Botman. Congratulations. Gerard Bouw. Joris Broeren. Congratulations. Larissa Buining-Karpova. Congratulations. Vicente Calatiut Pinuaga. Congratulations. Erik Kappendijk. Congratulations. Virginia Cavaletti. Tanner Jacquard. Congratulations. Roy Chin. Roy, congratulations. Vijay Chowdhury. Gino Ciotti. Karin de Boy. Olivier de Graaf. Morgan de Koning Boord. Congratulations. Extien de Waal. Wouter Draaimüller. Mark Durno. Said Al-Mudni. Hannah Fan. Wouter Fieder. Congratulations. Jona Floru. Congratulations. Michaela Fusco. Gregors Gouden. Saurabh Jilani. Paula van den Bos González. Ralph Gosselink. Gustavo Guerriero. Olivia Herenveen. Edwin Horstman. Ala Hussein. Walter Jongenotter. Congrats. Bjorn Kaldenberg. Tassos Karavalakis. Zoltan Kelemen. Congrats. Yuha Kim. Andy Kloppenburg. Rutger Kramer. Douwe Krooshoff. Jean-Alain Kummer. Stef Lauer. Matthias Lieb. Benjamin Livestro. Bart Luters. Roy Machielsen. Xiaoyu Mao. Paula Martinez León. Patrick McCabe. Congrats. Tomo Mikami. Libu Minieva. Rodrigo Moreira. Laura Mostert. Hui Nguyen. Nilesh Nikade. Nathan Ning. Sumitra Padi. Pingwei Ren. Julia Roitskaya. Melinda Rook. Miriam Roos. Andrew Ross. Grazie. Lorenzo Salin. Grazie. Musa Sani. Grazie. Sajid Sankar Yanardana Paniker. Tamil Selvan Sankaralingam. Carlijn Savelkools. Hilde Schonewielen. Jens Schrikkenberg. Alexander Setzer. Renske Seiben. Mark Simonsen. Leendert Slabbekoorn. Philippe Snijder. Yvonne Sobral. Irina Sokolova. Priya Srinivasan. Arnoud Staderman. Stijn Stafhorst. Jurgen Stam. Miljan Stamenkovic. Daniel Stregels. Sivakumar Subayan. Yaching San. Congratulations. Konstantin Tomasz Polski. Congratulations. David Treito. Mark van Denderen. John van der Laan. Congrats. Erik van der Niet. David van Geest. Bart van Hoof. Roelof van Renen. Bob van Roosendaal. Annemieke Veer. Dorine Veldhuizen. Congratulations. Rodika Vents. Congrats. Geertje Verbraak. Congratulations. Jiangmin Weng. Congratulations. Neil Wielden. Congratulations. Vincent Wu. Rami Zaki. Tom Zaal. And last but not least, for the Executive MBA class of 2016, Edna Svinavace. Congratulations. Full-timers, are you ready? It's been a long year. Ups and downs, overall great. Let's celebrate, guys. Here we go. First one to call, Octavio Abrego. Hala Abu Jaber. Congratulations. Sandy Adaksa. Elba Aguirre. Congratulations. Samir Aldaya. José Alonso. Ngozi Amobi. Islam Badr. Congratulations. Kyung Ok Bak. Take your time, take your time. Congratulations. Praful Bakshi. Kofi Bediako. Congrats. Sheva Bedoya. Congratulations. David Berujaniani. Kimberly Betsy. Raj Bhushan. Congratulations. Paul Brettschneider. Congratulations, man. Sebastian Breuning. Anshal Chandrakar. Hold on, hold on. Anshal Chandrakar. Tony Chang. Congrats, Tony. Abhilasha Chaturvedi. Lingmin Chao. Mimi Chao. Congratulations. Felipe Coronado. Congratulations. Andrea Costa Onofri. Guillem Constanza. Daniela de los Rios Fleury. Maru Delgadillo Lara. Congrats. Pradeep Dada. Laura Diaz Said. Georg Ditfurt. Ibrahim El-Kouri. Gürkan Eraslan. Tochukwu Ezeoke. Nick Fan. Adil Iqbal Farouki. Congratulations, man. Jenny Feng. Congratulations. Sebastian Fernandez. Jamie Frug. Congratulations. Yoko Fujimoto. Nati Gildial. Congrats. All is good. Esther Juliana Gomez Rojas. Keep going. Congratulations. Rins Hempenius. Congratulations, man. Mao Sheng Hao. Sena Yeon. Guru Vignesh Jayachandra. Neha Ya. Kartik Yoshi. Yeah, that's man. Ashish Juneya. Sandeep Utani. Oh, nice. Avneet Kaur. Takuya Kitamura. Thank you, thank you. Petar Kolev. Akio Koyama. Lee. Andrew Long.
Thank you.
Tarita Lubis. Divya Madaswamy. Michael McDongong. Congratulations. Hassan Mahmoud.
Thank you.
Juan Maldonado Alcazar. Congratulations. George Mani. Happy birthday to you. Divyapas Mankat. Alex Matoso. Toshiaki Matsumoto. Elda Matwalaga. Giuseppe Melillo.
Thank you.
Montserrat Alejandra Meneses. Jeffrey Medianto. Rohit Mishra. Enjoy, congrats. Jacob Naroff. Congrats, man. Maya Hila Notteboom. Antonia Oen. Oh, take your time. Take your time. Chulo Park. Wyatt Beaver. Yes, ma'am. Carlos Prada. Sandeep Pushpangaram.
Thank you.
Anar Rabarli. Roxana Rivera. Juan Carlos Romero. Angela Romero. Yevgenia Sharkova. Shivani Shetty. Chelsea Shook. Anthony Sichra. Mary Ann Sona. Shyam Srinivasan. Sriram Srinivasan. Go, go. Keshen Samuel Sumardi. Daisuke Takahashi. Garcia. Taylor Tripp. Andres Trujillo. Laurens van den Burg.
Dankjewel voor alles. Zo in avond. Heel erg fijn. Dankjewel.
A.B. van der Merwe. Congratulations. Pedro van Stralen Godinho. Marina Vargas Julian. Benedict Wagner. Septian Valuyan. Shen Wang. Come on. Thank you. Mu Wang. Congratulations. Jill Wexler. Bruno Weitz. Hsinyi Yi. Laurelie Zabadal. Thank you. And also now, last but not least, for the full-time class, MBA 2017, Ms. Cherry Yu Zhao. This concludes the handing out of all your degrees. Congratulations, alumni. We will now proceed to recognize those with outstanding academic performance by calling the Dean's Honors to the stage. Every year, the Dean awards special recognition to those students who consistently perform top of their class every term. And as you all know, this is no mean feat. Every term, every course. The workload, the pressure, quite significant, also especially for you executive MBAs. It is my great honor and pleasure to call to the stage first the executive MBA honors. First and foremost, Jochem Bossenbroek. Karine de Boy. Zij is er niet. She's not here. Unfortunately, this will be handed to her at a later date. Mark Durno. Congratulations. David Treito. Congratulations. Mark van Denderen. Congrats. Geertje Verbraak. Neil Wielden. Congratulations. I am also calling to the stage 3 people for Executive MBA 2016 who will be awarded honors with distinction. Honors with distinction, these people are the top 3 performers of your class, and you have excelled academically and personally, for which we want to put you in the spotlight. So for the Executive MBA 2016 class, this is Gustavo Guerriero. Douwe Krooshoff. Bob van Roosendaal. So also for the class full-time MBA 2017, there will be honors. And the honors go to Praful Bakshi. Wyatt Beaver. Laurens van den Burg. A.B. van der Merwe. Benedict Wagner. Well done, well done. The Dean's Honors with Distinction for the full-time MBA 17 class go to someone who probably never thought she would get it. Hala Abu Jabbar. Congratulations. Well done, well done. Mimi Cha. And the last honors with distinction go to Guru Vignesh Jayachandra. Well done, man. That's it for this year. Thank you. Thank you, Dirk van Dierendonk, the Vice Dean, and obviously our PLD professor, and Eveline Wijnmalen, the registrar. Now I have a little bit of a fun thing to share with you, the Student and Faculty Awards. The Student and the Faculty Awards were nominated by yourself and voted by yourselves. We will start with the Faculty Awards, and I have to stress more than anything, this was voted by you, for you, only you. So the Faculty Award is the first year we're handing this out, and it is to recognize the efforts of the various MBA professors and lecturers, and we followed your nominations and guidelines. The Faculty Award for the full-time MBA class goes to a person who was praised by all of you, our graduating full-time students, for his enthusiasm on the topic. While the subject was particularly challenging to some, this professor showed fantastic and great patience and enthusiasm to teach you and increase your knowledge by sharing passion and explaining concepts over and over and over and over. He went above and beyond to make sure you all understood and were lifted to a higher level of knowledge, and that you are now able to continue to work independently. This award goes to Professor Dr. Arjen Mulder.
Wow. Thanks a lot. I do believe we spent quite some time on the finance topic. And actually, so it was not until we arrived here that I realized, I once made a joke that when you guys were just in, I would say like, yeah, in all the brochures you had the nice blue skies and we faked you. Yeah, I mean, normally, the weather really sucks here. But luckily today the weather is so nice and it perfectly complements with the whole ceremony. So today is great for more new photos for the brochure. Now, actually, I just hoped I would have some seconds to prepare you a Shakespeare for today so you could vote. But they asked me to leave my laptop in the other room. So I owe you with the Shakespeare. Thanks a lot.
You, the Executive MBA students, voted for a professor who dared to provoke and challenge you. He was found by you to be authentic, impactful and supportive, getting the best out of you and wanting for you to succeed. And it was his mission. Unfortunately, he can't be with us today, but you voted for Best Faculty, Mr. Murray Bryant.
First, let me say thank you for your generosity of spirit and recognizing me for this award. I read your comments and I'm deeply touched and humbled by them. Thank you so much. A theme of today has been I will. I'd like to use that theme in my brief comments. As you know, I like to quote Churchill. Churchill said this about change: success is not final. Failure is not fatal. What matters is the courage to continue on. Talking of success, it's a journey, not an end point. Sometimes it's because you had all the people with you to achieve that task. Don't be afraid to step back and thank and acknowledge those who made it possible. You can't imagine how much that will do for them and for you. Sometimes success is due to luck, but great leaders make their own luck. They see possibilities where others see challenges and threats. Be positive, not naively positive as an individual and as a business leader, but positive so you see opportunities. RSM has not given you all the answers. Rather, it has given you the ability to ask the right questions of yourself, the environment, and others. Business keeps changing. It is more complex today than when I started my career. But what is continuous is the need for business leaders to express their values and their ethics in the decisions they make. Because only in this way will you create value and to yourself, your companies, and most of all, to society itself. As I think through the EMBA program, I think not what the faculty did for you, but what you did for each other over coffee, drinks, beers, etc. Nurture that camaraderie, teamwork, and friendship. It is vital to your long-term success. Acknowledge today the faculty and the staff who made this possible. But more importantly, acknowledge family and friends who really made it possible. Thank them. Finally, I wish you well in your lives and in your careers, and thank you for your generosity of spirit to me.
So now we asked you a little while ago to nominate those students in your class who went again above and beyond, who helped you, who were your rock, a listening ear. And you voted, and we voted as staff, and the results of that are: for Executive MBA, this person showed themselves a true natural leader with the right spirit and the aim to help others, who shared good insights in class and out and always had a very positive approach. The student was inspirational to their entire class, and therefore the student award for the Executive MBA 2016 class goes to Mark Durno.
Wow. Yeah, for somebody who's used to standing up and doing pitches, I'm not very prepared for this one. Thank you, really. I guess there are a couple of motivations for me to do the Executive MBA. One of them was for rigorous academic study and hard work, which I got. And the other one was to see if I could level up against a set of peers and individuals who were ambitious, motivated, and intelligent. And I feel that it's not so much that I had to level up, it's more that I've got a new batch of friends now that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. So thank you guys. I learned how to push a moustache. I learned that legends never die. I had some really good times. And I would be really wrong to stand up here and not pay tribute and thanks to my wife, Natalie, who... She's over there. Murray's absolutely right. Without supportive family members, and in particular Natalie helping me the last couple of years, she probably did 3 times the work I did, to be honest, to get me through this MBA. I wouldn't have finished it. So thank you, Natalie. And the last thing I'll say is my parents in the audience today, it's actually my stepmom's birthday, so happy birthday, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. I failed to mention, actually, there's a €2,500 award that comes with that. So recognizing someone who went above and beyond in the full-time students, they nominated their winner because they were the driving force behind their class, behind their activities, but also because of their integrity, positive attitudes, leadership qualities. Those are just a few traits that were mentioned when the nominations came in. This person understood like no other how to combine study, social activities, work, and still perform very highly. For a full-time MBA, it is my greatest honor and pleasure to award this €2,500 to Guru.
Whoa. Well, the MBA, the journey started more than 5 years ago, and I had this picture in my head about what the journey would be like, and that helped me get through preparing for the GMAT, applying for the colleges, and even for the last couple of years in my job. I knew I would leave all that behind and come to a new world. And even in my wildest dreams, I could have imagined a much better experience than what I've got here. And it's mainly been because of you guys, all of you, all 106 of you, and all the members that I've interacted with, and the amazing RSM setup that we've got, which inculcates the collaborative culture. So, and I should mention my term 1 and term 2 teammates, without whom this would have been possible. And also to a few of the people like Dani, Maya, Cherry, Adil, and Juan, who worked in the background and made it possible. Thank you guys. I mean, this, more than me, this is what you guys deserve. And finally, if my parents are watching back home, love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. This concludes my official part, and we will move on to some class speeches now. Let me hand you over.
I always enjoy being MC of these proceedings because then I get to stand up here and say, congratulations, well done, on behalf of myself and the staff at RSM. This is always a wonderful moment. However, there's still a couple of things to be done, and that's one thing that is also fun, and that is that you get the opportunity now to share your journey with us, the journey from the last year or two. And I would therefore like to ask your class representatives who have put this together, first of all, for Executive MBA 16, and after that, when they have done their memory, their farewell speech, then I'd also like to ask the full-time MBA students to come up. So for Executive MBA, that will be Simona, Ioana, and Paula. And then after that, Hala and Juan.
Yep. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paula Martinez, and I graduated today, as you can see. But also today, I leave behind a wonderful journey, and so do you, my dear classmates. We leave behind a very challenging path, a path full of special moments, but also a path full of very inspiring people, and a lot of fun. But before saying goodbye, Ioana, Simona, and me would like to take a moment to reflect on the past, the present, and the future of this, our MBA journey. Let's start with the past, with how it all began. With that moment when, with a lot of excitement, a lot of curiosity, and also a bit of fear, we packed our books, we gathered our courage, we said goodbye to our social lives and hobbies, and decided to go on with this journey. So what made us choose this direction? Yes, we wanted to be able to do that balance sheet. We wanted to be able to calculate that profit. We wanted to be able to know how to push that reorganization. But more than anything else, we wanted a change in our daily lives, a change in ourselves. Because the most challenging part of this MBA was not financial management, was not accounting. The most challenging part was not statistics, right, Awe? The most challenging part was to be able to change ourselves, to dare to look into our hearts and take ownership of our paths. To close, I would like to share with you a poem from a Spanish poet, Antonio Machado. Don't worry, it's not in Spanish. Traveler, your footprints are the only road, nothing else. Traveler, there is no road. You make your own path as you walk. As you walk, you make your own road. And when you look back, you see the path you will never travel again. Traveler, there is no road, only a ship's wake in the sea. By beginning this journey, we dare to change ourselves, to be masters of our own destiny. Follow your hearts, dear classmates. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Simona Annunziata, and today, after 2 years of marathon, I graduated. And it was not a marathon in the Netherlands like Flat, it was a marathon in Nepal. And today, I want to share with you what our marathon experience has been, what has made us succeed, and how impactful this MBA has been in our life. Let me take you through this amazing journey. These past 2 years have been a life-changing experience, a transformational journey, a marathon with ups and downs. We have been meeting so many different people, character, and actually the first biggest challenge was to make it work in this vast variety, getting the best out of ourselves and the best result for the team. Second challenge was to find a new balance between personal life, professional life, and this intensive MBA lifestyle. Just to challenge? Well, when you start, doesn't work, sorry. Well, when we have started this journey, the faculty recommended us 5 rules to help us to succeed throughout this journey. They know that the challenge is coming. First rule, do not fall in love. Second rule, do not have a baby. Third, do not fall out of love. Fourth, do not change country. Fifth, do not change your job. And that one, I break it. And guess what? Is anybody there in the EMBA folk that was able to manage not to break any of this rule? I bet that the score for the MBA group is a bit better. You had just 1 year to break the rule. But whether we break or not, we are here today. We made it. And how did we make it? We succeeded through our strength, our focus on the end goal, individual development and growth. We succeeded through the support of this amazing group, a place to always find comfort in the moment of discomfort. And last, but most importantly, we succeeded through the support of the people that are here today, our partners, family, friends. Thank you very much to support us throughout this journey. Please stand up, look at your supporter, and give the credit to them. And now, what is the outcome of all this amazingness? Of course, it's a wealth of business knowledge, but it's much more than that. The outcome of the MBA is individual discovery, knowing about our boundary, our strength, our passion. The outcome of the MBA is resilience, strength, to not give up in front of the challenge. We will manage. The outcome of the MBA is awareness, knowing all the opportunity out there. The outcome of the MBA is the ability to distinguish what's really matter in life. And now, EMBA folk, we have started this marathon thinking about it was the finish line, but the marathon was the journey itself and all the people running with us. And wait a moment, because it's not finished. I'm hearing some late breaking news. Let's connect for that to the studio.
And with that, we go over to Andrew.
This is Andrew Ross, reporting live from Qatar. Unfortunately, I brought the Dutch weather with me, so we're trying to dodge the showers. Over the course of our Executive MBA, the many locations we have visited have left a lasting impression, unique for each of us. In the following segment, I'll give you a taste of the fond recollections from our EMBA journeys.
Thank you, Andrew, for that riveting report. In other news, our BDM stats has come in handy to show us just how much we've really traveled. As we can see from the infographic, men traveled a lot further than women, probably because there's more of them. We've traveled a staggering 3.6 million kilometers together. That is 5 times to the moon and back, or 90 times around the Earth. So thinking back on CSR, corporate social responsibility for those who are initiated, we owe it to our future selves and our children's children to compensate our travels. We would recommend that you go to Arbor Environment Alliance's website and buy your compensation with friends and family. Remember, an acre of wood does you the world of good. And with that, we would like to take a glimpse towards our future. Joanna, could you tell us what that future will hold?
afternoon. My name is Ioana Floru, and I graduated today, along with you. And for those who know me, I like to party. And my problem now is that I don't have a drink yet in my hand in this amazing day to celebrate. And because I like to think about the future and the cocktails that are waiting for us, I'm going to keep this short. But I'm going to start with a reflection. You know, I was quite sad these last 2 months after the courses have finished. Sad because I was under this impression that something was finishing. And then I got to prepare the graduation speech with Simona and Paola, and I got energized. Energized because I got to talk to many of you here in the audience today about their future plans. And I was glad to find out that many of those future plans were very similar to mine, which is be happy, enjoy life, get back our lives, have a social life at all. But a wise man once said, success is moving oneself to a better understanding of what's important in life. And happiness, it's just enjoying what comes along the way. So what is important for us in this promotion today? Well, we are millennials. And the common trait of this generation is that we are seeking to do things that have a higher meaning, a purpose, things that resonate with our passions, things that make us get out of bed in the morning and jump out of bed in the morning. So a meaningful future is what moves us. And now, with this MBA, we have the tools to go for it. We have the knowledge, we have the understanding, we have more confidence in ourselves, and we have something else, even more important. We have dreams. And let me tell you, I found out we dream big. Yeah, it's true. Some of us want to become industry leaders, to completely change the areas they're working in. Others want to help and empower people around them. Others, like Mark here in the crowd, wants to start their own enterprise and reduce our environmental footprint and reduce food waste. Others, like Edna, want to go back to their own home country and contribute to the welfare of her people. Others, like Doreen, want to completely change the healthcare industry in the Netherlands. So yes, we have big dreams. Let me tell you that. But in order to achieve those dreams, we have to be brave. We have the courage to put our dreams into actions. Because let me tell you, the cost of inaction is far higher than the cost of making a mistake. And yes, today is the end of the EMBA. But all of us here in this room can turn this finish line into a starting line by going out there and putting their dreams into actions and achieving amazing things. But let's think for a moment what would happen if we would take the bonds that we've created amongst ourselves here in the EMBA and achieve even greater things together. Let's imagine for one moment what would happen if that great visionary industry leader wants to expand his business in Africa in a couple of years' time and contacts Edna, his good colleague, who knows everything about how business is done in Africa. Or that Mark here works together with Doreen to improve healthcare and reduce food waste in hospitals. Imagine. We are here, 200 graduates today, 200 bright individual futures. But imagine for one moment if we would not only have 200 bright individual futures, but 200 plus one future. The future that we can create together by working together. And on that note, let's get to work. But first, let's not forget to have a drink.
Thank you. The MBA's performance is a tough act to follow, but I'll try anyway. I'm deeply moved by the honors with distinction, and it kind of goes with my speech, so that's good, I guess. Okay. 10 years ago, I dropped out of law school. It was one of the darkest times of my life, especially since I had always been an A student in school and a teacher's pet as well, which I still am, as I'm sure my classmates here know. It had been the first time in my life where I was the one in class struggling the most, the one with no idea what the professor is talking about, the one unable to keep up with the readings and homework. I started missing classes because it didn't make a difference whether I attended or not. I was failing either way. From day one, I was pleading with my parents to change majors. But because they believed in me, they pushed me to persist. So I did, and I began to manage. 2 years later, however, I made the decision to quit. It was during the summer that I realized that that was not the path for me. I was miserable. I dreaded going back to school after the summer holidays for fear of failing. It felt like hell. So I took a year out and resumed my undergraduate education in a different field and different university. I dedicated my time to school and studying. I was doing well again. Not just well, actually, I was doing great. I graduated with first-class honors. My parents were proud. I was proud. But deep down inside, that monster I call fear of failure was still haunting me. I doubted myself at every turn. Every job application I did, every interview I went to, that monster was shadowing me throughout, and it affected my performance. I didn't know how to sell myself, my strengths, my potential. And so it became a vicious cycle. I apply for jobs I really want. I either get rejected from the get-go, or I get an interview, which I'd mess up. And as I got more rejections, my self-doubt and lack of confidence deepened. And that, in turn, affected my applications and interviews. And so I settled for a job that was far removed from my dream. And I thought to myself that maybe this is where I belong, in an unstimulating, challenge-lacking, routine desk job with no future prospects. I looked at the job as a means to an end. It was not all bad, though. I did find a better job later on. And although I learned a lot, the achievements I made in that job were unfulfilling because they felt easy to achieve. I didn't feel challenged. I was just grateful to have a job. Until one day I realized that if I keep going down this route, I will achieve nothing in life. So I started playing with the idea of doing a master's to strengthen my profile and help me get the job of my dreams. And so it was that I decided to pursue this MBA with the aim of coming out with a stronger CV, skill set, and business acumen. What I had not been expecting from the MBA, however, was to regain my self-confidence and belief in myself. And it's all thanks to my classmates, my professors, and the RSM staff. Never underestimate the power of people in pushing each other forward and helping one another grow. What my RSM family has done for me, without them even knowing, is priceless. They made me realize that I am strong and capable, and showed me that my weaknesses can improve with work and persistence. They elevated me from self-doubt to confidence. They showed me that it's okay not to be where I thought I want to be at this point in life, because most people aren't. That I should embrace my experiences because they made me the strong and driven individual I am today, who aspires to enact change in the world. That I am not alone in this. And most importantly, they taught me invaluable life lessons that I will take with me everywhere. These changes and lessons did not happen overnight. It took a year for me to become wiser. A year of small gestures, activities, interactions, and conversations with my classmates, professors, and RSM staff. My 10th team, who were my first team in the MBA, and the ones with whom I spent many waking hours of term 1, were the ones who reminded me of my strengths and who showed me that I have the ability to be a good leader. It was with them that I started to regain my self-confidence. My health team, with whom I experienced one of the most inspiring events of my life, made me realize that my thoughts and ideas are valuable, that I can make a difference. My Term 2 team reinforced my humility. They taught me to leverage my strengths to where they are needed the most, because no one is great at everything. They also taught me that some of the greatest minds reside in some of the quietest people, so never underestimate anyone. My classmates, with whom I spent many hours in classrooms, at Maria's Cantina, during dinners, drinks, birthday parties, and at MBAT, taught me that it is never too late to pursue my dreams, that despite our many differences, we are pretty much the same, and that when we unite, we can achieve a lot, like winning the MBAT University Spirit Award. My professors are the reason I know what I know today about the business world. Thank you for bestowing your knowledge upon us in ways that made it stick. Even a year later, I still remember the importance of having a minimum sample size of 30 for my sample to be representative of the population. The RSM staff, who are the unsung heroes of the MBA, and without whom the whole program would come crashing down, taught me to appreciate each and every individual for the part they play in creating the whole. Because the part they played in making this MBA as valuable as it was is imperative. All these lessons, self-realizations, and personal growth, however, would not have been possible without the endless support of my parents, who are sitting all the way there at the back, without whom I wouldn't be standing here today, and without my husband, Michael, also over there, whom, like my parents, has always believed in me, who put up with what I call my MBA crazy, and who has been there for me every step of the way. So thank you to each and every one of you for the lessons I learned from you, for empowering me to regain my confidence and belief in myself, for helping me restore my faith in humanity, for making me realize that it's never too late to chase my dreams, and for the wonderful friendships that I will cherish forever. Congratulations to my MBA and EMBA classmates, and in the words of Ella Fitzgerald, it isn't where you came from, it's where you're going that counts. So let's make it count. Thank you.
Hello, guys. Give me 1 second. This computer is starting, but you know it's part of the nerves, I guess. 1 second. All right. Whew, let's do this. You know, I've been thinking for the past 3 hours, what the hell was I thinking by accepting to come in front of you? I'm really nervous, really excited, so let's just get it over. Dear family, guests, faculty, senpais, donos, coons, my girls, my men. Let me tell you something. These kids got pretty busy this year. Our MBA class decided to be different, and I think we might have overdone it a little. This was the first year that our football team over there scored more than 1 goal. in the history of the tournament. This was also a year where we decided to party hard, so we had a few encounters with the law, a couple of ambulances as well. But on a serious note, this was also the year where we faced the reality of cancer. And I'm proud to see how we united against it. Because my man Randy, you will not face this alone if we have something to say about it. There's a quote in my book that says, "A warrior never forgets his dreams. He makes them a reality." And I'm proud to call you a warrior because you've done great so far. Getting an MBA, it's not easy. And yes, this year was tough. But it was also the culmination of several years of preparation and courage. Of saying, not this weekend, guys, because you have to make your admissions letters. Or not buying a car like your friends because you need the money to make yourself something better. We have heard great speeches today of fun and hard work. But this day, I would like you to take a look at the people over there. Those people are also part of the reason that you are here. Their will also played a part. Once upon a time, there was a handsome baby in a small town in Mexico. His life should have been pretty normal and boring, like everyone who is born, lives, and dies in that town. But there was a woman that decided that it didn't have to be like that. Her will brought me and my sister to Mexico City, to a world that we could even imagine. It was big. She sacrificed a great career to be the one who was always there in the festivals and in the important occasions, in the times that mattered. To be honest, I wasn't an easy kid to handle. I heard a lot of bad stuff from people that I really looked up to. That I was going to be a failure, that I wouldn't amount to much. Even just before coming here, the man that I admired the most told me that I would fail and end up flipping hamburgers in McDonald's. But this woman believed in me, even when I stopped believing in myself. Today, this kid might be one of the first people from that town that graduates from one of the best schools in Europe. You might have noticed a while ago some weird quotes on your kids' pictures. At the start of the program, we write our I will. It's the vision that we have for the future. It's a strong statement that holds us accountable to pursue and achieve what we came to do here. They might sound lame, funny, and even weird, but don't underestimate them. Those wills are the things that got us through the hard times. What I want you to remember today is that your will is not alone. Today, we don't celebrate the I will. We celebrate our will. The will of the family that pushed you to dream without limit. The will of your significant other who stood by you through thick and thin. Of your best friends that cheered you on when you just wanted 5 more minutes of sleep. Of the faculty that did their best to teach you. Because there would be no RSM and no great memories without the people that are sitting there or are watching from home. This moment, this tiny moment, celebrate the people that believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. This victory is theirs as much as yours. So give them some applause. I'll close with something my uncle told me that I will stay with me forever. He said, "Juan, you have the engine of a Ferrari in your brain. Why do you keep using it like a Volkswagen?" Sorry, Pavel. What this means is, don't waste who you are by playing it safe. There is no greater treason to yourself and the people that are here than saying, "Hey, I got this nice diploma," and it stays on the wall. Dare to fight for your will so that other people in the future can have their will. My men, my girls, thank you for your friendship, your love, and the general hysteria. To be your man was my life's honor.
Thank you to all of you for your student speeches and those inspiring words. All that is left for me right now is to make a few closing remarks. But before I do so, I would like to ask you all for a warm applause for my colleagues behind the scenes who have made today possible. So, Joanna, where are you sitting? There you are. The drinks are on us. It's that time. Just a few logistic things for everybody. I'm not sure if you graduates know, but you're allowed to keep your gowns and caps. You can take those home with you as a souvenir of today. And we have broken out the bubbly for you, graduates. So we're going to ask you to leave the hall first. Friends and family, please wait for the graduates to have processed out of the hall before you join them. The EMBAs will take this path, and the full-timers will take that path. So I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, RSM graduates today.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have a final speaker. We have a final speaker in Mr. Dirk van Dierendonk, who wants to wish you a nice farewell. And we have a final gift for you, which we will explain.
Okay. However.
Are you thinking I just...
You know, you have to wait for me to finish.
Yes. I'm just keeping standing here and then
yeah,
wait.
It's cool. It's good. Looks good here. Yes. What I wanted to say to you, what I had planned to say to you, it's okay, Dirk, come here. So in just a moment, when Dirk is finished, I would like to invite you to go and celebrate. Celebrate that you were strong enough to get to today, and celebrate your very bright future ahead of you. Congratulations.
Okay. Now, the main reason we sort of broke in was because at the moment that I'm standing here, you're supposed to get a gift. And I'm looking around whether that's going to happen now. At least I've been told that. Because I only have a few sentences because I know, there they are. Good, okay, just to make sure. This is the end of our graduation ceremony. And as you can see now, a booklet is being handed out. And this is your alumni yearbook. And we would like to invite you to take it with you as a remembrance of your year here at RSM. You are now part of our alumni network. So go out in the world and use what you've learned at your alma mater to make it a better place. But wherever you are or will go, stay tuned, stay connected, and stay part of the RSM family. We believe in you as a crucial part of our social capital now and in the future. And I wish you all the very best in your personal and professional lives. And I'm just checking how the booklets are going. Yeah. Just want to make sure that all of you have one before we go up and, you know, do the bubbly stuff. Are we there? Almost. Checking. Yes, yes, yes. I think so. Hetty, but now I am confused because who's going to come up first? You still know? The AMBAs. Yes, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates. And my students, don't let them drink alone.